Are you ready for some anime trolls that will make you question your own sanity? Look no further, my friend, because we've scoured the anime universe to bring you the 15 biggest trolls that will have you laughing, cringing, and possibly crying. In a good way, we hope. All right, folks, let's kick things off with the lovable goofball Nendo. This guy's not your typical troll because he's just too darn dumb to be malicious. In fact, he accidentally trolls everyone around him with his comedic stupidity. You know it's bad when even Psyche can't detect him, because Nendo literally never thinks about anything, and that means he's always there at the worst possible time, whether he's turning himself into a statue or starting a rivalry without even realizing it. And get this, he actually wins the rivalry while having 2 volleyballs stuffed up his shirt. Talk about a power move. But here's the thing, Nendo's clueless demeanor and bad perception about how his actions affect others mean he's not even aware of the S-class trolling he dishes out on a regular basis. That's why he's got to go in last place. Poor guy doesn't even know he's trolling. All right, coming in at number 14 is Kuroko Smith, the cultural exchange coordinator. Man, this girl takes trolling to a whole new level of realism because her go-to move is to dump all her duties onto the poor MC. I mean, the guy was supposed to host just one demi-human, but Kuroko's like, hey, why not invite the whole gang over for a party? And when things inevitably go wrong, you can bet your entire life savings that Kuroko won't lift a finger to fix it. She's like the embodiment of, it's not my job, even though it literally is in her freaking job description. But hey, to be fair, she does occasionally put on her big girl pants and step up to the plate. So we'll give her credit where credit's due. But in the end, Kuroko's still a troll at heart. And that's why she lands at lucky number 14 on our list. Listen up, folks, because we're about to talk about the Joestar to end all Joestars. The one and only Joseph. This guy doesn't give a flying fuck about appearances. And that's what makes him so darn lovable. He'll straight up peace out of a fight if he's not sure he can win, leaving his crew high and dry. But that's just the tip of the troll iceberg, my friends. Joseph's true troll power was on full display during his fight with Cars. After getting his arm ripped off, it goes flying and bam! Hits Cars right in the kisser. And you know what Joseph says? He says it was all part of his master plan to really piss him off. I mean, come on, that's some next-level trolling right there. And let's not forget about his epic cross-dressing skills when infiltrating enemy territory. Or the fact that he was fashionably late to his own funeral. Joseph's got trolling down to a science, folks. But since he's usually a bit more serious, we'll have to settle for giving him a well-deserved spot on our list. Not too high, not too low, but just right. Number 12, Laurent, the expert international con man. Now, the show may have you believe that he's all about pulling off grand schemes to make bank and teach lessons, but let's be real, the dude's main motivation is probably just to mess with poor Makoto. I mean, the guy can't catch a break even when he tries to start a new life and stay away from trouble. Laurent just pops out of nowhere like a ninja in the night and pulls him back into the world of crime. And don't even get me started on that whole airplane ordeal. Who in their right mind orchestrates a whole chapter in someone's life just to teach them how to fly a plane? I'll tell you who, a next-level troll. But hey, we can't blame him. Trolling Makoto is probably his life's mission. Number 11, Anos Voldigoad, the Demon King of Tyranny. The guy with power so immense he could sneeze and destroy a continent. But what does he do with all that raw strength? He trolls, of course. This dude can make you feel like a mosquito trying to bite a rhino. He'll duel you with a stick and still come out victorious, just to show how useless weapons are against him. And he has the confidence to say that it takes more than killing him to actually make him die. Talk about having some serious trolling skills. He's the ultimate power trip, and we're just living in his world of chaos and comedy. Number 10. Oh boy, let me tell you about Coro Sensei. He's like the love child of the Flash and Bugs Bunny with a side of Mr. Miyagi. This tentacled teacher moves faster than Usain Bolt on steroids and can outwit Wile E. Coyote any day of the week. But what really sets him apart is his trolling game. It's on a whole other level. He'll dodge a bullet while giving a lecture on quadratic equations and then proceed to give you a manicure if you try to stab him. And let's not forget the time he changed his student's Netflix password just for fun. I mean, who does that? Only Coro Sensei. Number 9. Ayaya Orahara, the underground information broker. This guy is like a kid in a candy store, except the candy is the suffering of others. It's like he's got a create chaos button that's always turned on in his head. He's got schemes and plans for everyone, even if he just met them 5 seconds ago. And his grudges? Oh boy, they are something else. He'll hold on to them tighter than a kid with their favorite toy. And once he sets his sights on you, well, let's just say you better start looking for a new job, a new home, and maybe even a new identity. But don't worry, he's also got a softer side. He might act like a tough guy, but deep down, he's just a lovable goofball who enjoys a good prank or two. Number 8. Gojo is the ultimate nonchalant badass that we all aspire to be. I mean, the dude has the power to create black holes with a flick of his finger, and yet he's too cool to break a sweat. If you're unlucky enough to be his enemy, he'll probably just leave mid-fight to grab a snack. But don't worry, he'll come back to finish you off, while also giving a lecture on proper fighting technique. It's like he's trolling you and educating you at the same time. And if you're on his team, watch out, because he'll roast you faster than you can say sensei. But let's be honest, we'd all happily take the abuse just to bask in his coolness. Number 7. If you're looking for a show with a plot that makes perfect sense and has deep philosophical meaning, Kokoro Connect is not it. In fact, the entire premise can be boiled down to a simple equation. High schoolers plus bored godlike entity equals to hilarious chaos. Heartseed is basically that one kid in class who finishes all their work early and then spends the rest of the period messing with their classmates. Except this time, instead of putting gum in someone's hair, he's switching bodies and altering personalities. And let's be real, if we were given godlike powers, we'd probably do the same thing. So while Heartseed may not have the most noble of intentions, we can all relate to being a little bit of a troll at times. Number 6. Kazuma is the ultimate embodiment of internet culture in anime. He's like that one grumpy Redditor who is always ready to dish out some malicious compliance. He doesn't give a shit about being a hero or a villain. He just wants to survive and maybe cause a little chaos along the way. Threaten him, and he'll comply with whatever you want. But if you dare to mess with him, he'll find a way to put you in your place, even if it means resorting to some questionable tactics. Kazuma doesn't discriminate. He's an asshole to everybody. He's not the knight in shining armor. He's the damsel in distress who will troll his way out of any situation. Let's face it, we're all a little bit like Kazuma deep down. Number 5. Let's take a minute to appreciate Dio, the king of trolling in Stardust Crusaders. Remember when Polnareff tried to confront him? Dio could have just snapped his fingers and turned him into a donut. But instead, he chose to mess with him in the most bizarre way possible. Every time Polnareff tried to climb the stairs, he'd be transported back to the bottom like he was in some time loop. But it wasn't some fancy time rewinding power that Dio had. Oh no, he could stop time. That's right, every time Polnareff was teleported back, it was because Dio stopped time, walked down the stairs, and moved him. This guy had the power to kill his enemies, but he chose to mess with them instead. Now that's some next-level trolling! Number 4. Urahara is like that one friend who you never quite know what they're going to say or do next. One moment he's cracking jokes during a fight like he's at a comedy club. The next he's dropping some existential truth bombs like he's the reincarnation of Socrates. The man is a walking enigma, always keeping you on your toes. You can't trust him, but you also can't help but be entertained by him. And don't even get me started on his wit. It's sharper than Ichigo's sword. He can outtalk, outsmart, and outfight just about anyone. But let's not forget, he's also a master of the art of trolling. I mean, what else is he going to do when he's not saving the world from certain doom? Probably sit back and watch Ichigo stumble around like a blindfolded toddler. You gotta keep yourself amused somehow, right? Number 3. Oh boy, if you thought you knew what annoying meant, you haven't met Excalibur yet. This legendary weapon is not only the most powerful sword out there, but it's also the most insufferable one. He's like that friend who always asks for favors and never gives anything back. Excalibur has some incredible powers that anyone would want to wield, but he rarely sees any action because no one can stand him. He's constantly singing his own praises, making ridiculous requests, and demanding attention like a toddler on a sugar rush. Watching him is a treat for the audience. But for the actual characters in the show, it's like dealing with a migraine on steroids. It's no wonder the cast runs away from Excalibur like he's a nuclear bomb with legs. Number 2. Oh, Onizuka. The man, the myth, the legend. He's the kind of teacher that everyone wishes they had in high school. Why? Because he's an absolute riot. You never know what he's going to do next. One day he'll be dressed up as a giant banana. The next day he'll be climbing the school roof to steal the principal's lunch. He's a total prankster, and he knows how to make school interesting. He's not afraid to shake things up and push some buttons, especially when it comes to the stuffy administration. But hey, who needs boring old rules when you have Onizuka around to spice things up? Number 1. Gintoki isn't just the king of trolling. He's a mastermind of epic proportions. He takes trolling to a whole new level by not only messing with his anime pals, but also us, the viewers. This guy doesn't just break the fourth wall, he demolishes it like a boss and leaves us stunned and chuckling. But wait, there's more. He trolls the in-universe characters in the most unconventional and hilarious ways possible. Who needs normal tactics when you can barf your way to important intel or give advice to the very people holding you hostage? And let's not forget his ultimate power move, taking on death itself. That's right. Gintoki doesn't settle for ordinary targets. He goes after the Grim Reaper like a boss. This guy is truly one of a kind, a trolling genius who has elevated the craft to an art form. And that's why he'll always hold a special place in my heart as the ultimate anime troll.